Women who are thinking about going into manufacturing, don't be afraid to take that step. For me, it was a smooth transition. I'm glad to report a lot of the challenges were for me internally of taking the step forward, as I mentioned, asking those questions that I needed to ask. There was very little intimidation factor for me. Our engineers are approachable. Our automation group, our design group are all very approachable and open and welcome questions. So that is very helpful for me. I'm glad to report here at SW that the environment is ready for that.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to MTD CNC North America. I am here in Michigan at SW North America with my friend Julie, the program manager for SW. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why she loves her job so much and her journey as a woman in manufacturing, which I always love to hear about. So Julie, thank you so much for being a part of MTD CNC.
Thanks for joining us again here at our great facility in Michigan.
Yeah, what a great facility is right. So let's get into your job as a program manager. I know you speak multiple languages and really love and have a passion for what you do, which is incredibly infectious, and I appreciate that. So let's talk about your job as program manager at SW.
Sure, I'm fairly new to the role. I've been here at SW for 3 years, and I started out in the operations department. Recently made the change to program management, which has been really exciting for me. I come from a varied background and didn't have any experience in manufacturing. So when I started here at SW, had a lot to learn. And fortunately, I have great colleagues here at SW who really helped me along the way. As I said, I had a lot to learn and was definitely given the ability to just ask questions and try things and see what I knew, what I had a good idea about, and what I had to gain some experience in. So after a couple years, as I said, I've transitioned into this role as program manager. There are a team of 3 of us as program managers, and we bring our teams of engineers, controls, automation design, etc. together with our customers to provide our customers with the best experience they can have and to help meet their needs.
And as the program manager, Julie, does that mean I get you throughout my entire journey from the beginning of sales to solving some of the issues and all of those conversations that go along with the machine, and then if I buy a second machine or a third machine or a fourth machine, I get you the whole time? Is that how that works?
That's how that works. Yes, we're definitely, that's the advantage of having having SW and an SW machine, is that you're getting someone to help you through the entire life cycle of the delivery of that machine. So during the build phase, you have a program manager who is monitoring the build phase in Germany. Again, there's that communication, that collaboration with our headquarters in Germany and communicating with the customer. For example, right now we've been experiencing globally some material challenges and delivery challenges where dates are shifting back and forth a lot, and the customer needs to know that. They need to be able to react just like we need to be able to react. So in the build phase, we're there. The customer has to be ready to receive the machine. They've got to know where to put the holes. They've got to know who's going to drill the holes. They've got to understand that the machine's coming to them in a giant wooden crate, and be prepared to open that crate up and see this beautiful machine arrive at their facility. So we're with them throughout that, preparing them for that so we can have a seamless transition into our commissioning process, and if it's a turnkey, into our acceptance process there as well. So
I find that to be very important, because if I'm a customer, I want to speak to someone I'm familiar with and friendly like yourself. And so I hope this 3 years goes to 30 years. Speaking with you before, you know, being either multi or certainly at least bilingual, bringing people together through language and having conversations, because we know SW is an incredibly impressive German brand. And I don't speak German. I know that some people here in America do, but we've become quite lazy because the world speaks English, right?
It's true.
But we need you. We need you to help us communicate with, you know, that back and forth. That's part of the passion of your job as program manager, right?
Certainly. One of the things that drew me to a German company was that I did have the ability to speak the language. So I was always looking for opportunities to use that skill in a varied experience, and I landed in the right spot here. One advantage we have is it's not just me. There are many people here at SW who speak German. Of course, we have many German nationals who are here, but also Americans who speak German. So our team has that advantage to offer, and that we can bring our counterparts in Germany also together with our customers and solve problems. One example I can give, one of my customers was getting ready to receive their machine. Machine was at the end of its build phase in Germany, and our German team was running parts on that machine and found that they were having some challenges with dropping parts. This was one of our machines that has the integrated robot arm. And we had to bring the customer together with our program manager and the engineers in Germany and figure out a solution or the best way forward. So that's definitely my favorite part, is bringing everybody together and figuring out what we're going to do and make things right and give the customer a good experience.
Well, you're definitely needed and wanted. And something I've heard you say a couple of times is varied background. And we know SW to be one of the best machines on the planet. I mean, German made, and you speak the language and you're bringing people together. Did you find coming into this technology with that varied background a smooth transition, or did you really just have to like cram in some study to figure out what's going on in the engineering and manufacturing world?
I'm not going to lie, I was a little overwhelmed when I first came here. I mean, look at this. It's easy to be overwhelmed by this great German engineering behind us. But it did excite me as well. It was something to just jump into. I have our marketing department actually to thank for kind of helping me learn quite a bit pretty quickly. One of the first things I did in my previous role was to take a look at the website that had already been developed and just give the language a read through. How is it with English? Is this American English we're reading here? Is it British English we're seeing? So by reading through the webs, I had a really good picture of what SW is all about. I got to understand better what multi-spindle machining meant and why that really gives us a leg up, and the precision that our machines offer. So that upped the ante for me even to better understand what we're doing that's different from what our competitors may be offering.
That's fantastic, Julie. And it sounds like you're the type of person who embraces a challenge. Now, as a woman in manufacturing, and I love to have these conversations, and I've had several, was there a challenge that you found coming in, or was it a smooth transition working at SW? Because
Sure.
we need more women in manufacturing. So conveying this message to our global audience, we want to attract more women into this industry. So I would love to hear a little bit more about that story as well.
Sure. The encouragement is to the companies as well as to people who are women who are thinking about going into manufacturing. Don't be afraid to take that step. But it has to start with the company's hiring as well, and being open to a variety of resumes and varied backgrounds. So for me, it was a smooth transition. I'm glad to report a lot of the challenges were for me internally, of taking the step forward, as I mentioned, asking those questions that I needed to ask. And thankfully, my colleagues are very, very open. There was very little intimidation factor for me. Our engineers are approachable. Our automation group, our design group, are all very approachable and open and welcome questions. So that is very helpful for me. I know that that's not necessarily everybody's experience, but I'm glad to report here at SW that the environment is ready for that type of...
That's beautiful. and to be fair, I'm hearing similar stories, which I'm so grateful to hear, because, again, just to reiterate, we want more women in the industry. So, Julie, thank you for sharing that story. Thank you for continually connecting people, solving problems, making this world a better place. Thank you for being a part of this industry and sharing your story with our global audience at MTD CNC.
Thanks for coming here again.